Good afternoon. It is finally here, August 12th. We've got a report in about 10 minutes. We're going to break it down live for you. We've got Tommy. He's working hard. He's down in Nashville. So it's going to be me and Brady. Go ahead and bring Brady in, and we can start giving you some numbers, talking about this report, and then once we get it, we'll start breaking down the numbers. And I gotta remind you, Brady, last time we did this, USDA took them 10, 15 minutes to get the numbers out. Hopefully they got their ducks in a row and we can get the numbers out a little bit quicker.
Yeah. We think we're 6 or 7 minutes away, but in reality, who knows? Maybe we're 20 minutes away from this August WASD report. Who knows with the
It could be
USDA?
tomorrow. It could be tomorrow. Who knows? Who knows? And
Yeah.
so, I mean, I got to tell you right now, it sure feels like we are the trade. The feeling where I am in Central Illinois is we're bracing for some big yields, right? It sure feels like it's going to be everyone's ready for the yield number to jump up or to at least hold. No one's really worried, right? It's a very negative sentiment out there right now. Time will tell what they're going to print, though.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but definitely feels like a lot of bad news in the sentiment side of things. And you never know, will the report be bad enough to feed the bears, or will it be not as bearish and give a little life and hope for the bulls? And maybe you see a bullish reaction out of this. Do we have those reactions, those price changes? We talked about those this morning, but wouldn't be against. We need to throw those up at some point here.
Yeah,
But
here I'll give a quick rundown. No, I mean we got a lot of data coming out, but just numbers. I think the trade's looking at, and definitely what I'm looking at. First one we have is going to be what is the USDA going to say for corn yield? Right now, they've used that trend line yield of 181. Last year's corn yield, it was a record. It was 177. Trend line, right, has this 4 bushel above. Right now, average trade estimate is they're expecting it to go a little bit higher, right? Crops look fantastic. We're going to be a little bit above trend line. Question is how much, right? Range anywhere from 180 on the low end up to 184. And then soybeans, it's similar, right? They use the trend line yield of 52. A little bit tighter, right? We're going to see 51 to 53 is what the trade is looking for on yield. But we need to pay attention to production acreage, right? They can change that. And we'll be looking at those numbers, see if we don't get some surprises in terms of acreage and what have you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everybody, all eyes on the yield number, but it goes hand in hand with the acreage to get you the production number. And then we throw demand in there and ending stocks. If you're looking for a quick and easy, dirty number to see what's the impact to the bottom line of the globe, the supply and demand picture, check out the ending stocks number. That's kind of my go-to, I guess, when I want to see, hey, what's the general implication of this report as a whole?
Right. Other one, right? I don't know how quickly we'll get these numbers to you, but we're going to be looking at them is Brazil's soybean, Brazil corn, Argentina corn. Okay. Tomorrow, CONAB, Brazil's reporting agency, is going to report what they think they have for corn and soybeans. Interesting to see what that number will be. And if that gap that the USDA and CONAB has, is it going to widen? It's slowly creeping back in and getting a little bit closer. So we'll be looking at that number too. Also, before we really get into it, don't forget at 1:30 we'll have Brian Bastine, Nate Duraco, Michael Reginelli are going to do a deep dive. Right, they really break in the numbers. They get time to digest it and really look at it. Make sure to tune in to Advanced Trading's YouTube page and tune in for that one, because Brady and I, we're going to give you the numbers. We're going to look at the price action and give you the quick hits quickly. And so with that, all good, Brady?
I am, yeah. Yep. I got a bird in my ear here trying to get dialed in for the numbers in the report drop here.
Good deal.
Good deal. If you're out there watching, post us a comment, question. We love to hear your thoughts on what's going on. Engage with us. We'll answer them live on here if you are up for it. If you don't want to be pushed on the stream here, send us a text or an email, info@ATI Pro Media, and send us your thoughts. We love that feedback.
Absolutely. So before report, we've got corn coming up off the lows. We're still down 1.50 on December corn. November soybeans down 9, and then we've got wheat being a dog. December wheat's down 10. And so with that, knocking stuff over here. Let's look at the price action real quick, and then we'll prep for that. And so historical price action, right? Soybeans first, as you can see, Oh, I'm sorry. This is corn. And so all over the place. Last year was a little bit negative. 2019 stands out to me, Brady. Looking at that down 25 cents. I always say temper your expectations based on that year.
Yeah.
And then looking at soybeans, right? Soybeans, not a great 10-year run when you look at it, right? 7 out of 10 years we've been down.
Yeah, you never know what to expect with these reports, and sometimes they can be the nail in the coffin with this market. It's like confirmation that the crop is there. The USDA thinks the crop is there. That's been the tone. It seems like the last 4, 5, 6 years has been.
Yeah.
It comes in and disappoints the trade and sends these markets a little bit lower for the next 30, 45 days going into harvest. But just when you think you got these markets figured out and the trend figured out, hang on, buckle up. Something new is coming down the pipe, and strap in.
Absolutely. 2019 or perfect example where we thought we had it all figured out, right? They were gonna, how much were they gonna drop yield? Well, they didn't drop it at all, and the market dropped 25 cents. Other thing we could see, we've got a lot of bearish news priced in. I could see it, Brady, where maybe we get a bearish number on paper, but then
Mm-hmm.
let's pay attention to what the trade reaction is to that number. So
Yep.
with that, what are we, about
Oh,
2 minute 30, 2 minutes out?
oh, it's on. 183.1 corn
Oh my
yield,
gosh. Look at that. Okay, that's a
53.2 soybean yield,
okay. Both of those 50 53.2. I'm going to write this down.
15.147 corn production, 4.589 for soybean production. Boy, the USDA is on the ball today.
I said 1 minute 30 and you're giving me the numbers, Brady.
It's
This is beautiful.
11, Connor. Time. I don't know what time it is
My
in Illinois, but in Kansas, it's 11.
Okay, so with that here, bring us back on.
So the yield
So
up a little bit, but that production number on corn, kind of in line with that August. That's 15.124, and it came in at 15.147. So the acreage number, looking for an acreage number, Ben, if you got anything there.
yeah. Interesting. So the assumption bees harvest acres came down a little bit, but man, that's in the top end of the range, a 183 corn yield, right? A big yield. We've got corn price reaction. Corn's down 3. Soybeans really taking it on the chin, down 16 at the moment, with that 53 really on the top end of the range on the soybean yield. And right, we got a long way to go, but right now it looks like we're going to continue that trend with a down day after the August report on soybeans.
Yeah, not a whole lot price action wise. You look at what we're doing. I mean, we're within the range of what we traded, all day on corn. Beans, they're off the lows. Wheat is off the lows. So the trade is, I don't know, maybe on holiday still. It's Monday. Um, not,
Or
not, kind of nothing there from a price reaction standpoint from what I'm seeing.
yeah, we
Still,
look. I mean, the trade. I mean, big yield numbers, but we could say they were pretty much in line with what they thought. Right, they were ready for a negative report, and that's what we're getting right now. And so, right, corn's for that big a yield, and like you said, the overall production, not a big change. Make sure I got this right. 15,147 versus a 15.1 is what the July USDA estimate was. Is that right, Brady?
run that past me again. I got too many things going on.
corn production was it 15,147?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. So really close. I mean, overall production, right? Big yield. But when we look at where they were at for July, not a big change, right? Just 15.1 versus 15.115 roughly.
Right.
And so
Mm-hmm.
right in line for expectations. This is where corn's bound. I mean, we're still down a penny, but interesting to see that price reaction. Beans still down pretty good. Brady's on mute right now, but hopefully he can get us and just see one number we didn't see is looking at Ukraine, Brazil, Argentina. Any other numbers for us, Brady?
2.073 ending stocks on corn carry out. 560 soybean ending stocks. That is 100.
That's a
That's a big one.
That's a big number. That's probably, versus the yield, that carry out is probably what's really weighing on soybeans right now, right? August, July carry out was 435 and they're at 560. That's a big number.
Looking for some South America numbers here, and Ben's digging through some stuff, looking for see if
Yeah.
there's any changes to that.
That
I'm
corn
waiting.
on the corn front, looking at carryout, looking at production, we're very much in line with that July estimate, right? You could say in the analyst range, not big surprises, right? A bigger corn yield, but overall, looking at production, looking at ending stocks, not seeing a whole lot of changes. And we're seeing that we've got D's corn turning positive right now. We got it up a half cent.
Okay, yeah, it's good to see. Nice little reaction here. That's
I'm looking at numbers too. So not bad. Looks like the loser is definitely going to be soybeans down. Soybeans down 20 is going to be the big one. Corn, I could see just the soybeans might weigh on the overall commodity prices, and we might see corn just stay lower, maybe not necessarily make new lows. D's corn at 394. The low was at 390, and so it'd be nice to take these big numbers and maybe really roll with them, but we'll see how we go the rest of the year. And so,
yeah. Okay, I was just kind of cruising through. We got a couple emails pushed through to us, Connor, and I was looking at those, and Ben's digging through some stuff as well. But yeah, sometimes it takes the trade a little bit to react to these numbers. The data sources like Bloomberg, Reuters, they're sending us stuff. That stuff's coming through, but the USDA site is a little behind, at least on my end, to
sure.
get the actual stuff.
Well, we got to say they more than made up for getting those numbers out quick. They got them out very quickly compared to last year. Last year we were just struggling, weren't we? Oh,
Yes.
Luke, what we got? Anything else? Cotton, Brady? You got any cotton?
Cotton. Okay, yeah, ending stocks 4.5 versus 5.2 on the survey, so supportive. Production at 15.11 versus 17 on the survey, so that's a supportive cotton number, Luke, out there. I don't have live cotton quotes, but otherwise I'd give you some.
And as far as if USDA got closer to CONAB on beans, we're still waiting. They unchanged Brazil soybeans. So now the ball's in CONAB's court, right? We'll see what they decide to do. They've raised it, at least the last CONAB report, maybe the past two they've raised it. Don't quote me on that one. But we've seen that inch quicker. So we'll see what they do tomorrow if they close that gap again. And so time will tell. If you got any other questions, right? We're still reading these numbers off. Drop us a question. Let us know. We'll keep looking at that. And so right now, since we saw the reaction, we've got corn chopping around, soybeans down about 20. November soybeans down 24, sitting at 978. So definitely negative reaction on soybeans, and we're seeing that with a bit, right? To me, Brady, correct me if I'm wrong, right? I haven't seen a supportive soybean number across the board, but that ending stocks number sure feels like a burdensome one compared to where they were at for July.
Right. Yep. Yeah, that's definitely. And on the world front, world soybean ending stocks came in at 134 million metric tons versus 128.32 from the survey, and 128, last month. So on the world front, those ending stocks trickled in over there. Sometimes you see some differences between the U.S. ending stocks adjustments and the global ending stocks situation.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. And so just to recap, make sure I heard you correctly. No Brazil corn and soybeans. We didn't see any changes there.
Correct. That's what Ben rattled off in my ear. Beans are breaking here, down 26 cents, 976. Beans are on the lows here, so getting some of that. The trade is catching up with the data and starting to maybe trade some of those numbers.
Right. Right. And so we saw a bit, 183 So if we hold that number for the next 6 months, right? It depends if you subscribe to the theory of big crops get bigger, right? If that gets bigger when we get the final yield number in January 6th. But if that 183 holds, we just broke the record by 6 bushel compared to last year. So
Wow,
really
that's
puts
pretty
it in
wild.
perspective,
That
right?
is, yeah.
Record crop last year. It never felt like a record crop the whole year, even going into where we got that final yield. It never felt like it was that big. This year's the opposite. This crop's felt big. It's just a matter of how big it was. And so right now the USDA is telling us, guess what? We've got a big crop out there.
Yeah, I think your state, Illinois, is record high production from this report, is what Ben whispered into my ear here a minute ago, that Illinois was projected to have a record production crop there.
Interesting. I'm not surprised at all. It'd be interesting to see if that's record yield, right? Based off last month. I think we still had some. Here we go. We got yield. Nathan Mangold, man of the hours, putting out yield maps. Be interesting to see just on Illinois if we could break that record corn yield. But
yeah, I don't. An August report never disappoints with data, and we're not seeing a whole lot on the price action other than beans breaking down toward the lower end. Customers, managing bean puts lower here. Good thing you have bean puts on. These numbers, August numbers, they can certainly set the tone for the next 45, 60 days as we get closer and get the combines rolling into harvest. And then we'll switch gears and be watching South America weather and the growing season down there as they plant their crop. It's just, we're always chasing our tail here with the next crop coming, seems like.
Right.
What do we got here, Connor?
Just looking, we got the USDA thing. I figured I'd just pop this up. It's just looking at what they say the corn yield is state by state, and then you can look at the percent change from previous years. So, as you mentioned Illinois, right? They got a 225 number, up 9 bushel compared to last year, and we had a decent crop. I'm kind of surprised. The Iowa number, maybe that is the northern Iowa and the flooding.
Zoom in one more click if you would, Connor, for me. My little tiny pupils can barely read that.
There we go.
There, yeah.
So Iowa kind of surprises me. It's not bigger, but as you can see, the Corn Belt, we've got bigger yields than last year. That's what this chart's telling us. So, but yeah, and so East Coast, not a lot of corn grown there, but like Luke in North Carolina, you can see much weaker than we saw last year, but some big yields across the board. Missouri, the biggest jump, 18 bushel versus last year. And so with that, what we got? Pop a question up here. Iowa looks to be high also for corn. Yep, we're seeing that. A 209. I really thought it'd be a bigger in Iowa, but I think it might be a testament. Maybe we'll have to see it of the northern Iowa where we're seeing flooding. So, Joe, thank you. Corn, we got it turning positive, right? It's really taking kind of like what we talked about it. Tommy talked about it. You talked about it, Brady, of getting some maybe some bearish numbers on paper, but the trade was ready for it. And I think we're seeing that. We saw the big corn yield. Overall, Indian stocks production on corn didn't change significantly at all. It was pretty similar to what July is, and we've got corn rallying. So good to see. We'll take it. I think you're muted, Brady.
Gosh, I've been talking. I'm on mute here. Wow. Remember my first time streaming live. Corn on the highs there. Nice run up there. Getting close to that $4 level, $3.97. Good to see. Big deal. We'll want to run that commercial a little bit here, and then
let everyone thank 700 people watching. ATI Pro Media. Joe, run the commercial and let them know what we're about.
Welcome to ATI Pro Media, powered by Advanced Trading. We're a financial channel that loves agriculture. For just $1 a day, you'll receive advanced trading research, actionable text, and a minimum of 6 videos a week featuring industry experts and insight. Click the button below to subscribe today.
Good stuff. If you're new to us, give us a look. Guess what? My favorite thing to do when Tommy's not on is to give away a flag. right? I love giving away Tommy's flag. So send us an email, info@atipromedia.com. We'll get you sent with an American flag, right? Just on the back of us winning the most Olympic medals, right? We officially broke it. So feels good to see. And so I think with that, right, we've got corn rallying. Hopefully it'll hold in there. You want to do a quick recap, Brady, and then anything else you want to say? Or I think it's
Well, I
we
think,
basically hit the
yeah.
number.
I mean, we're seeing nice price reaction here. Beans kind of climbing off the lows. They certainly had some negative numbers there from the report. Corn, the total production number I'd say was just in line. The yield number looks ugly, 183 record on paper, but the acreage adjustments there and coming in with a very much in line production total. It wasn't the 15.5 billion bushel crop print, which would have been another, I think could have sent this market significantly lower. So digesting the news very well, and great price reaction. The A team, they're going to be on this afternoon. What do we got? Nate DiRocco, Brian Basting, Michael Reginelli. They're going to come dig into this just deeper than what we can and what we're capable of doing. They are the A team.
Yeah.
So tune in. There will be
Absolutely.
at 1:30. Great insights into their video.
Absolutely. Well, let's pop any other comments. We'll pop them up real quick, and we're going to wrap it up, I think. What else? Any other comments? Luke, East Coast. Go ahead.
East Coast corn rough, basis garbage compared to last year. That's interesting. You'd think basis would be very supportive. But I wonder if that has to do with turkey production. The turkey business has been really tough in the egg layer. Some of the chicken poultry business has been tough. I wonder if that is a piece of the puzzle there with your basis picture on the East Coast. So
right.
Interesting comment.
It could also be a testament to, just the different year, right? Maybe the basis relative, if we look at North Carolina, maybe relative to the rest of the country, maybe it's not a bad basis number. I don't know.
Historic,
right?
Yeah. I mean, the Ohio Farm Boy, he made a comment last week about wanting to trunk his Ohio corn to Luke. So, Luke, I don't know if you're a buyer, Ohio Farm Boy, he might be a seller. So you guys can hook up and we can get the trucks together for y'all.
Right. So, okay. Well, if we don't have any more questions, we'll wrap it up. I think we got one. We got one more.
They're trickling in there here.
Go ahead, Pop Man. It's Luke again. My guess would be they kept trains running constantly. We had no snowed out trains to push basis in February, right? There was enough corn in the United States to keep everyone going, and we're seeing basis react accordingly. Makes perfect sense to me, Luke. And so
I deal with a similar structure out here west. That corn's coming out of the I states and it's going to the east or the west. And if the trains are coming and keeping us covered up, you keep the people next to the shuttle loaders and access to rail, their basis markets aren't as volatile. But you get a feed yard that's 30 miles or a poultry house or hog house that's 30 miles an hour away from that train, and you can see some volatility there, whether they get caught short and it costs them to unload it off the train and haul it to their yard. So you get some pushes and some spot markets that you can really take advantage of from in a bin situation. But if we're trying to trap 10, 15 cents better basis, we've seen the significantly higher futures price risk. And I think that's what are we focused on here? Capturing a nickel or 10 cents better basis, or protecting 50 cents a dollar.
Yeah. Make sure make sure we're seeing the forest for the trees. If I got that backwards, don't tell me. So, all right, with that, we've got corn. East corn really wants to close above $4. Let's hope it can get there. Be nice to see a rally. We've got it up 4. Right. Soybeans still a dog, but we've got it. It's really pulling out. 985 November. The low was at 975, so about 10 cents off the low. So, right, if we're gonna be a grain bull, as almost every producer I've ever met is at this point, right? We want to see the bearish news. We want to see the trade take the bearish news and see if we can't get a rally from here. We'll see where we go. I think with that, Brady, you got any other closing thoughts? And I'll go ahead and close her up.
Yep. Nope. Thanks for joining us here today. Always appreciate it. Love these live feeds, report drops, getting to see the price action right when that thing comes out. It's fun. The USDA delivered with a report on time, which is a big win. And yeah, like you said, we got green on the board with corn. So that's a win too in my book. Thanks, Connor.
Absolutely. Everyone have a good one. See ya.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.